Hey, hello, Transform fam. This is that awkward couple minutes when I'm like, are we live? Because it says going live, and then it spins. And now it says we are live. So I never know if I'm actually airing when it's like spinning. So I should watch back and see, just so I know. But I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about healthy aging, all things healthy aging. I'm gonna make sure I have my notes up right here. What we're gonna be talking about today is 5 specific things to maintain your health, energy, longevity as we age. Okay, and then I have your questions that you asked in the group. Let me make sure I've got them pulled up on my phone. All right, I've got them right here, and I'm going to answer as many as I have time for. Okay, I do have to warn you though. I have someone coming over to my house in the next, sometime in the next half an hour. So might be while we're on this little, I almost said Zoom, but we're not on a Zoom. Might be while we're on this live, and we are watching my dog's sister, and she howls and gets so mad when she does when she doesn't know somebody. So if there's a moment where I have loud dogs barking, I'm just apologizing in advance. So let's go ahead and jump right in, you guys. Let's jump right in. So I want to know. We've only got a few people watching right now. There's more coming on. But as you're watching this, we're going to do a lot of interaction in the chat, okay? So as you're watching this, I want you to comment and tell me what is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about aging. Maybe tell me like one word, okay? We've got 4 of you on here, so I want to see 4 comments, all right? I want to know what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about aging, okay? Amanda, hi, I see you too. I'll single you out. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about aging? Bones, aches, okay, yep. Keeping your bones healthy, aches and pains, that's definitely it. Wrinkles, I feel you there. Slow metabolism, okay, awesome, you guys. Notice, and I don't blame you because I would have said the same thing, but notice how most of those things are negative, right? Oftentimes, and this is so common, like I said, I'm with you, so no, I totally get it, but oftentimes aging can have some negative connotations, like the wrinkles, the aches, the pains, the issues with, your fitness, and like menopause for females, and weight gain, all these things that we associate with aging, but they don't have to be a bad thing. Okay, there's so many amazing things that comes from aging too. We are more confident in who we are. If you guys are watching, do you notice how maybe you feel more confident in yourself than you did 10 years ago, right? You don't care as much about what other people think. You have more wisdom, you have more patience. Sometimes in a lot of ways, life can just be better, right? So I'm gonna share 5 things we can do to age healthfully. And keep in mind, the things I'm gonna share are in addition to the obvious of like seeing your doctor, getting your regular health screenings, monitoring, hormones if you want, or any, health markers. Okay, these are in addition to that. Okay, so I'm not gonna have one of those be one of our 5 points. Okay, so first one is eat more whole foods. So when we talk about eating whole foods or eating clean, so to speak, I don't like to turn this into like a cult, type of, oh, hold on. I'm getting a little internet warning thing. Okay, I think we're okay still. It's not like a diet. I'm not talking about eating clean as like you can't ever have anything processed or you can't ever have, those favorite things. You guys know me. I'm big on including all your favorite foods and not cutting out your favorite foods, right? It's just that focus on most of your foods coming from veggies, fruits, whole grains, nuts, dairy, meats, things like that. And having most of those foods be whole foods. Okay, there's been a lot of research on this, and focus on whole foods, even a Mediterranean type based diet. When I say the word diet, I don't mean diet, I mean food choices. Okay, it can help you live longer. It can help protect against heart disease, cancer, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. So researchers actually believe that one of the ways this helps is it can possibly change like your chromosomes that are linked to age-related diseases. Like this is a really big deal, you guys. So you might be thinking, okay, cool, eat more whole foods, but like how exactly do I implement that? So something you can do is just try to eat more foods that don't come in a package, okay? So, I mean, things like, you know, with the exception of protein shakes, I always firmly believe, in my mind, a protein shake is a whole food, okay? Because it's just so good for you and it's just such a great, you know, low fat, low carb way to get extra protein into your diet. So I'm talking about other stuff, okay? Things that don't come in a package. Like if you think about, you know, granola bars, tortillas, cereals, just all things that come in a package, right? Versus what doesn't have a barcode, your fruits, your veggies, your meats, your like all that fresh stuff that's on the edge of the grocery store, right? You've probably heard about that, shopping from the edge of the grocery store. If something is grown in the ground, that's a really good way to know it's like a whole food. Single ingredient food, so something like oats, right? That comes in a package, sure. But if you look at the ingredient list, there's only one ingredient, it just says oats, right? Or I don't think it says oatmeal, I'm pretty sure it just says oats, right? So that's a good way to know if it's a quote unquote whole food. Now, keep in mind, I don't want you to get too much of a zealot on this where you feel like you can't have anything processed, because you know what that's going to do? It's going to make you crave those things and binge on them later, right? So really just think about moderation, but having most, maybe 80% of your food choices be from whole foods. Okay, got it? Number 2 is walking. We talk so much about this, you guys, but I can't even stress how important this is for health, longevity, and aging. Okay. Oh, I'm trying to watch let me see. I'm gonna check the comments. If you guys have any questions, put it in the comments. Okay, I'll keep checking those. So if you can, guys, aim for a 30-minute walk every single day. Okay, aim for that's a good aim. You know, another rule of thumb is like 8,000 to 10,000 steps. That can be a good way to, if you feel like it's too hard on your schedule to like go out for a walk, you can just track your steps throughout the day. That's another way to approach that. If you don't have like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit, pedometers on Amazon, guys, are so cheap. They're like 10 to 15 bucks. Just put it in your pocket, clip it to like your belt line of your pants, and that's a great way to track your steps. If you don't have a way to track your steps and you don't want to get a pedometer, you can think about that 30-minute a day walk, and you can break it up into shorter walks, okay? So if you can push on, like some of your walks are going to be more leisurely, walking the dogs, chatting with your spouse. My husband and I walk our dog every single night just around our neighborhood. It's about 1.5 miles. But for some of them, feel free to push yourself to where you're like, it's, you know, a little bit harder to, you can still have a conversation, but you're a little bit breathless, okay? This can be so helpful for oxygenating those cells, delivering more blood and oxygen through your body to your cells. And this can also, research has shown that walking can also help reduce the chances of Alzheimer's disease. So pretty awesome. It can also help you control your weight, boost your mood, keep your bones and your muscles strong. It can help you sleep better. And it helps prevent those diseases like Alzheimer's, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, blood pressure, high cholesterol, all these things, right? So with each of my points, I want to talk about how to implement, okay? So how can we implement? Guys, your walking needs to be a non-negotiable, okay? If you have a crazy day and you think you're going to be sitting at your computer all day, get up a little bit early and go on a walk. If you can walk as the sun is coming up, there are so many benefits to that. We are going to go into sleep, and there's so many benefits to being outside as a sun, like getting morning sun for your circadian rhythms. It's great for reducing cortisol. There's so many benefits to walking outside in the sun if possible. So first thing is make it a non-negotiable. Okay, you are getting in your steps. If that means it is 9 p.m. at night and you're like, oh crap, I need 1,000 steps, you go outside and you walk for 10 minutes. Okay, it's a good rule of thumb. It's about 1,000 steps per 10 minutes of walking, okay? Put it in your phone or your calendar, set reminders, set appointments, just like you would an appointment with somebody else, right? If you sit at a desk all day, you can set, if you have an Apple Watch, it does like stand hours, right? So 10 minutes left in the hour. If you haven't stood up, it'll give you an alert. But you can put a reminder on your phone every 2 hours, get up and walk for 10 minutes. Even if that's in your house or in your office building. If you're in an office building, you can go outside and you can walk around the building. If you're in your house, you can just get up and walk in your house. Like, there are always ways to do this no matter what the weather is. Even if you have a small house, you can just pace back and forth, okay? Always ways to do this. The key is understanding its importance and making it a non-negotiable in your life, okay? And of course, there's things like, parking far away at the grocery store, before you do your workout for the day, walk for 10 minutes, okay? Get that blood flowing before you jump right into your workout. There's so many ways to insert movement and walking throughout the day if it's something that's important to you. So that's the key here, is making it that non-negotiable, okay? Okay, number 3, and this is a good one. I love this one, guys. Stay connected to others. This is a huge way to manage your stress levels as well, because loneliness, guys, it not only does it make you sad, but it can be hard on your health, okay? So especially, I want you to think, like, as we're aging, right? Think about, someone who is older that that maybe is pretty lonely. It's common that their health might not be that great either, okay? There's actually been research that shows that if you live alone and have feelings of loneliness, you're more likely to get dementia and depression. So compared to people who have lots of friends, live around people where they have a lot of that connection, okay? Also, studies have shown that older people, if they feel left out and they're isolated, they have more trouble in like their everyday tasks, like bathing, climbing the stairs, and just kind of moving around in their daily life. Interesting, right? I wouldn't have necessarily thought there'd be a connection in that, but as I was researching for this class here, that's what I found. I was like, oh, wow. It's that connection to other people is so, so, so important. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it can bring down stress levels, having that connection, and high stress levels, high cortisol can cause inflammation, swelling. It's linked to arthritis, diabetes, so many things that affect us at all ages, but the older we are, it's going to affect us more negatively, right? So let's talk about how to implement. So I think that you can build connection in person, ideally, right? In person. Maybe that's joining neighborhood groups. Maybe that is communities, or like groups within your community, communities within your church, hobby related based groups like book clubs, bunco groups, joining a gym, meeting people there, just getting out of your comfort zone and building those relationships, but also just cultivating and nurturing the relationships that you have. Like, call your friends often. If you have a friend you haven't talked to in 10 years, call them, okay? I don't know if you guys have heard of the app called Marco Polo. I love it. It's free. You can download it. It is, it's like a video texting app. And so you just pull out your phone, hit record, you talk like a video, kind of like a FaceTime, but then you send it, and then your friend can watch it on their own time, send you a video message back. I just think it's so genius because it really does build connection between people, because you feel like you're having a face-to-face conversation, but it's on each of your own timetables. Like, you watch it when you have time, you respond when you have time. So it's just easier to fit into your life than like a phone call, right? So to build connection, I highly recommend checking out Marco Polo. No, I'm not affiliated. It's just like a texting type of FaceTime service that I absolutely love. So also, if you feel like it's hard to do this for you in person, online communities can help too. So here in this TransformHQ group, there is so much activity and community building. Reach out to people who are similar than you and build these connections through Facebook, exchange phone numbers for text, that kind of thing, because it really does make a big difference and can help a lot. Number 4 is sleep. And I know you guys have heard this from me, from so many other people a bazillion times, but sleep is so, so, so important. I will never stop talking about this, okay? As we age, it gets harder and harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. I mean, that's the joke, right? I don't know. I mean, I wake up to pee every morning at like 3 o'clock. When we have high stress levels, it's common to wake up between like 2 and 4, 3 and 5, somewhere around there. For my ladies in perimenopause, postmenopausal women, it's very common to wake up in the middle of the night. So you just got to do your best, okay? Even if it feels like, I can't possibly sleep through the night, try and take measures to help you do that but also help you fall right back to sleep if you do wake up. So, you know, I've got some tips on how to implement this. Of course, a bedtime routine. So some ideas for your bedtime routine are putting screens away for an hour or two before bed. Yes, that means TV also. And so you might be like, but that's how I unwind. And so if you do feel like, you know, zoning out to a mindless TV show is how you unwind, grab some blue light blocker glasses, okay? Or read a book instead. You can read a book before bed. I actually have a rule for myself that I want to be in my bed 30 minutes before I want to fall asleep, because I know it takes me a bit to fall asleep. And so I want to be in my bed 30 minutes before I want to fall asleep reading. And that's how I personally fall asleep. Avoid caffeine and alcohol in the evening. I don't know the exact half-life on alcohol. I've never looked, but caffeine can be, for some people, depending on if you're a slow or fast metabolizer, up to 8 hours or so. And so I would stop drinking caffeine mid-afternoon if you have problems falling asleep. Excessive napping, which I know as we get older and we have more of these hormone swings that we as women get, if you're a female watching, we can get tired during the day. But if you have these long, extensive naps throughout the day, it is going to affect your sleep at night, right? You can also work with your doctor and ask your doctor if maybe you're on some medication. If you're on medications and you're not totally sure of the side effects, you can ask if any of them might be affecting your sleep, and maybe if it's worth it to you, you can ask if there are any alternatives that might not affect your sleep, okay? We really want to be getting, I mean, I love to say 7 to 9 hours, but at least 6 hours of sleep, okay? 6 to 9 hours of sleep. Another thing that can be really helpful is having consistent bedtimes and wake times. So, and I know people might have jobs, you know, kids, pets, things that keep them from this, but if you can strive for a consistent bedtime throughout the week and a consistent wake time. Now you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I get up at 5 in the morning throughout the week and I don't want to get up at 5 on the weekend. I know it's hard. I usually tell people, like, on the weekend, you can have a 1 hour grace. You can sleep in 1 extra hour. But it's just not good for your circadian rhythms to be sleeping like 10 to 5:30. And then on the weekends, you're doing like 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. It makes it really hard. It's like right when you're getting back into a rhythm, the Thursday, Friday comes and it messes up your rhythms again, right? So consistent bedtime and wake times can be so helpful. And also that morning sun, getting out in the sun as soon as you wake up can really it can bring down melatonin levels, and cortisol levels are supposed to spike during the morning. So let me tell you a little bit about hormones that kind of help your circadian rhythm. Cortisol levels should be highest in the morning and go down throughout the day, preparing you for sleep at night, right? Now, melatonin is the adverse. Melatonin levels come up at night to help you sleep and then go down throughout the day, okay? So getting that morning sun can help those, the cortisol and melatonin curves, okay, to help you fall asleep better at night and feel more awake throughout the day. So last one I want to talk through is maintaining your muscle mass and bone strength is so important as we age, right, you guys? Because oftentimes as we age, we kind of lose, you know, we become more confident in ourselves and we start focusing naturally more on our longevity, our ability to do things, right? You know, I work with so many women who I had a client recently who was like, my goal is to be able to get on the floor and play with my grandkids. Or, you know, some people are like, my goal is to be able to put things up into the cupboards and move things around my house and just live life and be strong for those reasons. And it's so important to maintain your muscle mass and your bone strength, okay, if that's your goal. So what are some things that can help? We know strength training, right? Strength training can help immensely. And you probably know that it helps maintain muscle mass, but I don't know, did you know that it helps with your bones as well? Strong bones will reduce the risk of osteoporosis. It'll reduce the risk of falls, of breaking bones. I also found a stat that says a combination of age-related changes, inactivity, and inadequate nutrition, we talked about that, right? It's going to gradually lower your bone mass at the rate of 1% per year after age 40. So it's so important, you guys, to focus on your nutrition and make sure you're lifting in order to maintain that bone density and your muscle mass, okay? So how much strength training? Anywhere from 2 to 4 days a week is great. Something is better than nothing, right? So if you're like, I can't do 2 days, do 1 day a week of a full body workout. That's better than nothing, okay? The other thing you guys might know that helps so much with maintaining bone density and muscle mass is getting enough protein, right? You might be wondering how much protein. I typically say 0.8 to 0.9 grams per pound of your body weight. Okay, so let's do a little math here. Let's say, basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your body weight. Let's say we have 160 times 0.8. That's gonna get you 128, which is 128 grams of protein. If that feels so out of reach, then I want you to start where you're at, track your protein, see where it's at, and just try to work up to that, okay? Don't think, oh, I could never get there, so I'm not even gonna try. If you're currently getting 60 grams of protein and you can work that up to 90, even though it's not 130, like you're gonna be in so much better off than staying at the 60, okay? So find out where you're at and increase from there with a goal of about 0.8 to 0.9 grams per pound of body weight. For females, I typically cap them off around 150 or so, mainly because I don't feel like most women don't enjoy eating meat constantly all day long or drinking protein shakes all day long, right? And I want you to have some balance in your food. So let's say you are like 250 pounds and 0.8 might be 200 grams of protein. I would just cap you off at 150. Okay, that's just what I do personally for clients when I give advice, that kind of thing. Men, I would say, can go higher, of course. I would take theirs up to probably 200 or so for a guy. There's some supplements that helps maintain muscle mass and bone density as well. Creatine, guys, if you think creatine is just for bodybuilders, you're wrong, okay? Creatine is so helpful, yes, for building muscle mass, but it is actually being shown in, oh, there we go, see, I told you, let me let these dogs out. Hold on, okay, there you go. Oh my gosh, I knew it was gonna happen. I warned ya. There's so much research right now showing that how much creatine can improve your cognitive performance and brain health. Oh my gosh, can you guys still hear them? My dog's sister is a howler, and if it's a stranger, she flips out. It's okay. Oh my gosh. Sorry. So with creatine, guys, you just want to straight up creatine monohydrate. Transform carries this. It's back in stock. It was gone for a minute. I highly recommend checking it out. 5 grams is all you need. You don't need to do any loading protocols. Just need 5 grams every single day. Okay, you build up stores of it in your body, and you just want to maintain those stores. So even if you're not lifting that day, you still want to take your creatine. If you're going out of town and you can and you remember, bring your creatine. Okay. Vitamin D can also help promote muscle and bone strength. Okay, if you're taking vitamin D, again, Transform carries this as well. 5,000 IUs is good. It's a good starting point. If you have tested your levels and you know your vitamin D is low, then I would recommend 10,000 IUs. But if you're not sure what your levels are, I would start with 5,000 just to make sure you don't get too high. Okay. That's what I got for you guys today. So we do have a few more minutes, just a couple more minutes. So I'm going to pull up some questions. Let's see. I don't have time to go through all of them, but let's see. We've got the first one here is, can cortisol be lowered naturally? Absolutely, 100%. In fact, naturally is the only way I recommend. I recommend lowering cortisol. I mean, there are supplements that can help, sure, but nothing is going to help near as much as lifestyle change. Guys, lifestyle change. So what I mean by that, I actually made a post about this yesterday. I don't want to get on a soapbox. Should I? Should I get on a soapbox? There's so many people out there like touting all of these like drinks that are cortisol cocktails. You guys, drinking a drink, you might have seen my post yesterday. Drinking a drink is not going to save you from having to do the hard work of reducing your stress, okay? Reducing your stress levels throughout your life is going to be so important when it comes to your health and your longevity and your happiness and your health. I almost just said again. So what that means is, really focusing on, there's some stresses in our lives that we can't control. right? We can't control our jobs necessarily. I mean, most of us wouldn't want to quit our job and go find a new one, right? We can't control certain things that are happening within our family, maybe like if there's a death in the family, if you're going through a divorce, like there's things you can't control, right? But there are things you can control, right? Like making sure you're eating an adequate number of calories, making sure you're exercising properly and not over exercising, making sure you're sleeping enough, right? We talked about that. So many things that you can control that can combat a higher stress lifestyle, all right? This post I made, let me find it right here. Okay, so here are some ideas from this list that I posted yesterday. Focus on a consistent bed and wake time. We talked about that. Sun first thing in the morning. Take a bath, read a book, meditate. You don't even have to meditate for long, guys. 5 minutes a day can dramatically help you just center, focus on mindfulness, and bring those stress levels down. Keep a gratitude list. Keep a journal where you write things, all your thoughts, things that are stressing you out. Get them out of your mind and on paper. It helps so, so much. Smiling at people, grounding. Have you heard of grounding? It's walking around on grass, on dirt. Grass is better, right? Nobody wants to walk around on dirt. Just connecting with the earth can actually really help your hormone levels. I know it's woo-woo, I know, but there's been research on this. Get a massage, call your best friend, call your mom. All these things that we've been talking about are what can naturally help lower cortisol levels. And I know this because I've done it myself. I've taken my own cortisol levels from like mid-20s, which is really high, down to mid-teens, which is still on the higher. My cortisol tends to run a little bit high naturally because I'm kind of a kind of person, you know. But I've been able to do that naturally. Okay, so can you lower cortisol naturally? Absolutely. That's the only way I recommend. Let's see. To help with hair loss, nails, and healthier skin, do you think I need collagen if I'm still drinking protein powder? There has been a lot of research, especially our collagen with Transform, guys, is so high quality. It's so good. And it's so good. Like the fruit punch, oh my gosh, to die for. But yeah, protein, of course, is important, but collagen specifically has been shown to help with that cellular level of the hair, the nails, the skin, that kind of thing. So if you are specifically looking for those benefits, then I would add in collagen, okay? If you're kind of like, no, I'm good there, then just drinking your normal protein is great. Let's see. Well, okay, there's 2 questions about supplements. One, what vitamins should I take for menopause? And then another one that says, I know supplements are different for everyone, but what supplements do you see the majority of people needing or taking? What are the top 3? So I'm going to answer this one and then we'll call it good. My instructions were to be about 20 minutes and I'm over. So to answer the first question, what supplements in menopause? It's so individual. I can't even say because everyone's different. So it would require looking at there are some basics that I will go over in just a minute, but for most people, like supplements in menopause, I don't typically recommend just taking whatever without knowing what's going on in your body, right? You don't want to take something you don't need because it might make your levels too high, okay? With that said, some things that I think everyone could benefit from. Number 1, fish oil, okay? Fish oil, we transform, we have a fish oil. Fish oil is so, so important for healthy aging, disease, inflammation. It can help with your heart, with your arteries, to keep your arteries from plaquing up. Fish oil is so important, guys, because inflammation truly is the root of all disease. It really, really is. Maybe not all disease, a lot of diseases. And so if we can reduce that inflammation with something as easy as fish oil, taking a few of those a day, awesome. Number 2, glutamine. Glutamine is so good for your gut lining and keeping it healthy, just repairing that gut microbiome and keeping that balanced, okay? You want to have an abundance of healthy gut microbiome, and glutamine helps support that. So we have glutamine as well. We also have flavored glutamine, which is really fun. I believe it might be on Amazon only. I'm not sure. Check the website first. But it's so yummy, and that's super easy. We have an unflavored one that you can mix into anything and you truly don't taste it. And the third thing is magnesium. I think almost anyone can benefit from magnesium, you guys. Magnesium is a cofactor in almost every action in our bodies. There's so many kinds of magnesium, and as far as what kind of magnesium to take, glycinate is a really good one if you and you can just look on Amazon. Like, I don't have a favorite brand or anything. Magnesium glycinate is great for just a base magnesium, right? Magnesium citrate will help if you have digestion issues, like if you're constipated, okay? I wouldn't rely on it on a day-by-day basis because you can get a bit dependent on that to poop. So I would stick to glycinate, and you can use citrate occasionally if you need to make yourself go, okay? So yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. We're at 30 minutes. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Is creatine a pill or a powder? Creatine's a powder. Maybe some companies have a pill. I don't think I've ever seen it as a pill. You just want to do straight up creatine monohydrate. You'll see all sorts of fancy creatines out there, guys. Creatine monohydrate is the cheapest. It's what we have at Transform, and it's the most studied. So I would just stick with that. So, all right, guys, glad you enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you have a great rest of your week. See ya.